Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Politics and Tricks. I am your host, Dax. Let's jump into it. I think this is going to be an exciting story I want to get into, and it's basically the real truth behind NFL Carolina Panthers NFL player, quarterback for Carolina Panthers, Cam Newton's injury, the real truth behind his injury. So let's start off with an article from the Charlotte Observer newspaper about Cam's current absence from the season, as well, the team in the season, but also the truth behind his injury. So basically, Cam Newton, and this is from the Charlotte Observer, Cam Newton first went vegan, not vegetarian. So as you know, vegan is no dairy. Vegan, and no meat. Vegan is, Cam Newton first went vegan in February of this year, 2019. According to a March episode of his vlog, because he has a vlog just like me, but I'm sure his is very widely watched. And, he was just basically trying to inspire people and educate people to get out here and become more vegan and just leave the meat alone. So initially, before he went vegan February this year, in 2013, spring, he was already at pescatarian level then. And for those who don't know what a pescatarian is a person who only eat fish and vegetables. So vegan differ from vegetarians in that they do not eat animal products, while vegetarians still may eat eggs and dairy products. Pescatarians do not eat meat with the exception of seafood. Cam, this is a statement he made. I am in constant work in progress. I'm always trying to tap in something that is going to better me. That part is questionable, and we're going to get into that part. He said he's always trying to tap into something that's going to better himself, whether as an athlete, a parent, or as a person. So this off season, I was like, man, I want to try something different. Newton said in the episode, I love how I'm feeling. Now, Nancy Clark, which is a Boston-based sports nutritionist and author of Nancy Clark's Sports Nutrition Guidebook, said it is absolutely possible for professional athletes to perform at a high level as vegans, but it takes extensive, that's the key word, guys, extensive overcompensating. Meaning, if you decide you want to get rid of dairy, you want to get rid of meat, and only do vegetables, then you have to figure out something, how you're going to replace all of that nutrients, all of that vitamins, all of that natural protein and creatine. You got to find something to replace it. Now, you could pop 1,000, not 1,000, but you could pop pills every day. You could drink protein shakes. You could do all these things. But from my understanding, after talking to many people, even though you may take pills for protein, or you may take, pills for any vitamin, A, B, C, whatever, D, you still have to find that natural element, because sometimes it just doesn't give you enough, or give your body enough, because your body is a machine. So basically, Nancy Clark, which is a sports nutritionist, say it can be done. You got to figure out a way to overcompensate all of the vitamins and the nutrients you're going to be missing out on. So the question is, can a vegan athlete be successful? That is the question. In my opinion, I don't think so. Coming from a person that works out like myself, I don't work out extensive as Cam, because Cam plays major football. You have to eat accordingly. Like when you're training before a game, during a game, when you're playing a game, you have to be able to recover from all of your hard physical workings. And the only way you could do that, as you know, with proper rest, as well as eating the appropriate food. Vegans athletes typically experience deficiencies in vitamin B6, and B12, which can contribute to weakness and fatigue. Let me tell you guys something. One time I thought I was gonna go work out and didn't eat anything all day. That was the worst thing I could have ever done. My body was like, what you wanna do? Like, I'm not about to do anything because you ain't put nothing in me all day. You haven't given me any food, any nutrients, any vitamins, or nothing, but you want me to get out here and run 3 miles. It's not gonna work. If you are in a state of starvation, although minimal and self-imposed, you can overtrain a lot easier, which is what I just said about me. Like the minute you try to work out, the minute you try to run, your body will kick back and say, no, we're not doing this. And the funny thing is, I tried myself being a vegetarian twice. The first time I tried being a vegetarian, it was over in about 3 months. I ended up going to a buffet with my mother, and they brought out fresh fried chicken. I don't know if it was the work of the devil or not, but your senses are heightened when you give up a certain type of meat or protein or anything. Your smell senses become real heightened. And I just remember when they brought the fresh chicken out, I got weak. I got so weak that my whole vegetarian experience was over in a matter of 5 minutes. This is crazy to me. But basically, this is what people have been saying, like doctors, about Cam's situation. You know, he's decided to go vegan, and he's out here trying to play Major League Sports, and it just doesn't work that way. He has to eat some type of beef. He has to eat some type of chicken. He has to eat something that's going to make his body recover from all that extensive working out, or the extensive physical working out. And he's even been stated saying, you know, because he received an ankle injury. Now, usually when ankle injuries, players usually come back to the game within a matter of weeks, typically, if it's not broken. So, because he has been working his body to the fullest extent and not eating properly, he's missed 2 games already, and this is the beginning of the season. So it doesn't look like he's going to be coming back anytime soon. However, I think this is going to set a precedence for the league going forward, meaning that I think players are going to be encouraged to eat meat, because if they decide to leave meat alone, which I don't know why anybody would, if you decide to leave meat alone, you just won't be able to play. Or if you do play and decide to be a vegan or a vegetarian, you might end up getting hurt real fast and very severely. And then in the end, it's about the bottom line anyway. You costing the team money. The players need you. The fans want to see the team win. And if you know where to be around, especially if you're a star player like Cam Newton, you know, this is not going to be a good look. So I think this is going to be something we're going to continue to see or hear about as time goes on, because there's a phenomenon going on right now with being vegan or vegetarian. Like I said before, I tried being vegetarian twice. The first time I told you I got weak, I smelled fried chicken and I got weak. The second time I did it for 3 months and I ran out of ideas on what to eat. And I didn't realize just about every restaurant you go to, they really don't offer too many vegan options or vegetarian options anyway. You have to get real crafty, real creative when you go out to eat if you're a vegetarian or vegan, because everything on the menu contains some type of meat element. But speaking of the phenomenon of being a vegetarian or vegan outside of Cam Newton's injury, because I feel like right now what Cam is doing, he is part of the phenomenon of the vegan and the vegetarian craze. Everyone knows somebody that they work with, family member, close friend, somebody has decided to give up meat. And it's so funny when they talk about it with a sense of pride. Oh, I'm vegan now, I'm vegetarian. Like, I just can't eat this, I can't do that. I want a different thing now. Okay, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, eat your vegetables. But I would definitely say consult your doctor before you do something like that, but also definitely do your research on how you can make sure you're supplementing all of those things that you're taking out of your diet. Because you can see any type of side effects from removing meat out of your diet, because your body has been accustomed to that element for so long. Once you decide to cut it off, your body go through shock. And what that shock is, you don't know. Could be headaches, could be fatigue, as clearly some doctors have stated. And if you have any a strenuous physical lifestyle, I mean, you have a physical type of job or anything, like, you know, you're on your feet all day, or in this case, like with Cam, you play sports, you got to make sure you're supplementing. But like I said before, Cam is a part of this phenomenon of being a vegan and vegetarian. So this is a great segue for my next topic I want to talk about, which is how certain restaurants, starting with fast food restaurants, are trying to get in on the vegan and vegetarian craze. Now, I'm sure everybody's heard of the two companies, Impossible Burger and Beyond Meat. Impossible Burger, you have to actually be a physical restaurant in, you know, restaurant, brick and mortar, to order Impossible Burgers. They're not sold in stores, grocery stores. Only vegan or vegetarian patty that I know of is Beyond Meat, which I've eaten before, and I've eaten the Impossible Burger too, at recently at Burger King, the Whopper. So I'm laughing because I heard somebody earlier said these you know, they're trying to get you to eat these burgers. For one, they're using the name burger, so it's a trick in your mind to think, oh, I'm eating beef, and you're not eating beef. You're eating something more healthier. That's the thing that they're actually pushing out there or marketing to you, is that you're eating a burger, you're eating meat, but it's more healthy for you. And I'm about to cover that too as well. But just to start off, the question is, are Impossible and Beyond Burgers better or worse than red meat? Now, just to start off with that, the Impossible Whopper at Burger King has 1,080 milligrams of sodium. A regular Whopper with beef has 980 milligrams. So it's 100 milligrams less, it's 100 milligrams more than real meat, right? The Impossible Burger at Burger King. So you have to ask yourself, if they're making veggie patties or burgers, in this case, for the masses, for the millions, you have to do something to the patty to get people to eat it and make it and make people think it's good. And this thing is crazy right now. Like Impossible and Beyond Meat is making a killing right now. They're making money out the yin yang, and people just grabbing at it left and right. So being that plant-based meats, lab-grown alternatives that look and smell like the real deal have never been bigger as far as the industry is concerned, food industry is concerned. Grocery stores and upscale restaurants, not all upscale restaurants, because you got Burger King selling it, now stock shockingly realistic riffs of beef, sausage, and chicken made by cutting-edge companies like Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat. So basically what they're doing is they're taking plants, whole plants, and they're running it through this multi-million-dollar machine, and it comes out with a burger at the end of it. And then it's sold to you, and you're like, oh, this is so good, and it's healthy for me. It's not real meat. I'm living for this. This is so good. You can buy a cowless Impossible Whopper at Burger King, a vegetarian Beyond Sausage breakfast sandwich at Dunkin' Donuts, haven't been there in a while, a chicken-free Beyond Fried Chicken at KFC. They even got chicken now. Fake chicken now. But hey, at KFC, if no one knows this, but when I was growing up, KFC was actually called Kentucky Fried Chicken. But when they found out their practices, I'm not going to use certain words. When they found out Kentucky Fried Chicken practices on how they were mass producing chicken for people, and it involved some chemicals and some other stuff, and housing chickens a certain way and chickens coming out a certain way, they decided for legal reasons to remove Kentucky Fried Chicken and call it KFC. So being that you get fake chicken now, it falls in the category of KFC, because it sure wouldn't fall in the category of Kentucky Fried Chicken. This phenomenon of being a vegetarian and vegan has been fueled by health and environmental concerns over meat consumption. Because as the population is growing, we're consuming a lot more meats. And, you know, scientists, doctors, environmental people are concerned about that. Investment firm UBS estimates the plant-based protein industry will be worth $85 billion by 2030. So that's what, 10, 11 years from now? For those who don't know, I would recommend you start looking into some stocks and buying stocks in these two companies, Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat, because it's going to be a growing market as time goes on. And they can only get better with it. You know, this is like actually kind of like the first phase in a sense to me. And as time goes on, they're going to be removing some things, adding some things, removing some things, and making it more better. At least that's what I think. Right now, the term plant-based, vegetarian, vegan are really enjoying the public reputation of being healthy. Rachel Lagarstian, a registered dietitian at Weill Cornell Medicine, tells the Post, the New York Post. This is where this article is coming from, by the way, guys, New York Post. But terms like those don't really speak to what the makeup of what the food is, right? So, check this out. Dr. Sean Heffron, a cardiologist at NYU, puts it more bluntly. I don't know that it's a healthier choice than real meat. If I was presented with the option of fake or real fried chicken, I would probably eat the real deal, the real chicken. That's me too as well. Initially, the Dr. Heffron was curious in particular about the new red meat substitutes. He hasn't eaten red meat or pork in 25 years. Good job for him. I don't know how he does it. And spend many of his days advising people to cut back on red meat, which has been linked to heart disease and high levels of low-density LDL or bad cholesterol. So eating a lot of meat has been linked to heart disease and low-density LDL cholesterol. The doctor said, I'll be honest, I was tempted, but then when I read the ingredients inside the alternative meat chicken, alternative meat burgers, he said to taste anywhere near as good as red meat, plant-based burgers have to replace ground beef with natural fats, right? With something. So that means you're taking the natural fat out of a patty. When you create these plant-based patties, you got to replace it with something. For one, for taste, right? Because people are not going to eat something that tastes like cardboard. You have to replace it with something. Specifically, the doctor stated, plant-based patties have to nail that rich, meaty mouthful. And it's so crazy to me because it's like, it's not even so much of the smell part, is that when it lands on your tongue is all, it's been accustomed to a certain way how meat tastes, that it's looking for that springy texture when it gets in its mouth, in your mouth. And if it doesn't feel that springy texture, naturally a person will be like, yeah. So it has to have that rich, meaty mouthfeel that people are looking for. For that, you need a pretty significant amount of fat or oil to bring back in that taste that people like. For some brands, that means adding lots and lots of coconut oil. So that's the secret ingredient with these alternative meat patties, with Beyond Meat and Beyond Burgers. They're adding coconut oil. I actually use coconut oil on my skin. It's real healthy. I heard also coconut oil is used in movie theaters for popcorn because they can't pop popcorn individually for every person that comes up to the counter to buy some. So they have to pop it in big bags and put it over to the side the night before, and then when they open up the next day, they just put it on a hot light and it tastes just as fresh because it keeps it together. You can't use Wesson, you can't use Crisco to pop popcorn. You have to use coconut oil because it preserves it a lot longer. They put like a little yellow food color in it, so it makes the kernel looks like popcorn, yellow popcorn. But that's true, that's facts, that's what they use. But coconut oil, they have to use a lot of it, they were saying. Hence why I was saying before, the Impossible Burger that Burger King sells has 100 more milligrams of sodium than a natural beef patty. For some brands, well, actually right here, let me see here. Okay, so with heavy and saturated fats, which comes with coconut oil or lots of oil in general, a major driver of cholesterol. So people thinking, oh, I'm eating this healthy patties, healthy burger, Beyond Meat or Impossible Burger, but in actuality, if you eat too much of it, your cholesterol may start to go up. In fact, saturated fats are the reason he tells his patients to avoid red meat. This is what the doctor was stating. Eating too much of it, he explains, can lead to plaque buildup in your arteries that can prevent your blood from reaching your heart. In worst case scenarios, it can cause a heart attack. Nutritional numbers suggest that plant-based burgers simply swap one kind of saturated fat for another. And in some cases, they wind up even having more of that bad fat than animal meat. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, 80% of lean ground beef, the lean to fat ratio recommended by chefs for making burgers, contain 8.6 grams of saturated fat per 1/4 of a pound. That's comparable to the same amount of Impossible Burgers with 8 grams and Beyond Beef at 6. So the Impossible Burger and the Beyond Meat patty has less grams of saturated fat, right? Let me see here. The same amount of Impossible Burger with 8 grams or 6.6. In a statement to the Post, the representatives for the Impossible Burger claim it's at least as nutritious as the product it seeks to replace, ground beef from cows. This is what a Beyond Meat representative said. Dr. Darwish Amaji, innovation officer, says that the faux meat not only meet but exceed nutritional benchmarks. So what they're telling you is we're removing what you currently do and adding something else new to it to make it seem like it's healthy, and it's really not. It's really the same thing. So you just better off eating the real deal. So for all my vegan and vegetarian people out here, I want y'all to hear this and hear me closely and clearly. Y'all really ain't eating nothing different when you give up meat these days. Anything that they're making inside for you to purchase outside of the store is typically the same thing you would purchase what you previously did before you became vegan and vegetarian. Also by you taking on this vegan and vegetarian experience, you are depriving your body of certain nutrients in some cases, or adding more of the wrong things or wrong fats that you're trying to get rid of. You're adding more of it to your body by eating the alternative meat patties. So be wise and be mindful. My sister, which is she's a health nut, and she actually makes her own patties. Now, that could be something everybody else could do too as well. But people are so busy these days. They have children, they have full-time jobs. People generally don't have time to sit up and do a lot of prepping. And making your own alternative meat patty requires a lot of prepping, a lot of cutting, a lot of processing, chopping, and all this good old stuff. But I just want to let you guys know right now, this whole vegan and vegetarian phenomenon, being that companies are trying to grasp at you guys' thirst for it, they're really not improving your life, but they actually are giving you something with a different label on it, but it's still the same thing you've been eating all your life that you was trying to run from. So take it from me, eat everything in moderation. Increase more vegetables into your diet, but eat everything in moderation, drink a lot of water. It's okay if you have a rib every now and then. It's okay if you have a burger every now and then. Medium rare, a little pink in it because it processes a lot faster. And chicken, Church's, KFC, Popeyes, even if you do it at home, just do it in moderation. But I just wanted to point this out to you guys. I thought it was really interesting when I read this article today, because a lot of, like I said, a lot of restaurants are jumping on. Like McDonald's is testing out their patty. They call it the PLT, plant-based burger, lettuce, tomato, sandwich. They're testing it out in Canada right now. They're bringing it to the States real soon. And, people are like, ooh, I want this. And okay. Like there's a company here locally, Slutty Vegan. She's a Clark University graduate. And she started out of her kitchen first making vegan or veggie patties. Well, veggie patty sandwiches, burgers. She actually buys the Impossible Burger. And Impossible Burger tastes okay to me, but she actually buys from that vendor, and she charges $20 for a burger and fries. And she makes a killing. Like, she makes like 40 grand a day. But she started out making them in her house, and I guess she found some niche market, whereas she was able to sell the burgers out of her kitchen, and then she went from that and got a food truck, and from a food truck now she's in a brick and mortar, and I think she's about to open a second location. So, right now there's benefits to this industry because everybody's grasping at it. If you are an entrepreneur and you're looking to get into something like that, starting a restaurant, starting a product would be a good look, because everybody wants something. They want an alternative to what they've been eating all their lives. It's just that a lot of this stuff that they're putting out is really no healthier than what the original thing everybody's been eating all their lives or trying to run from. So I just want to bring this information to you guys. I hope you like this video. Please like this video, comment, press the notification bell so you'll know every time I upload a new video. Please check out my page and other videos, Politics and Tricks. It's also my Twitter, Politics N, the letter N, not A-N-D, Tricks on Twitter. I also have a Facebook page too as well, fan page, Politics and Tricks. So definitely check me out. I'm gonna be posting a lot of information about political news, pop culture, a little bit of sports, like we talked about before with Cam. And let me know what you think, guys. Hope you guys have a great evening. Just want to bring this to you. Peace.